One more time, we breathe in and we breathe out. With this exercise, we start our lesson today, our session today through this method, which is attentive listening. Attentive listening is one of the most helpful techniques, skills that we can always use to continue doing well in regard to improving a relationship. Not only a relationship with our intimate one, but also a relationship with our children and a relationship with other people, such as social settings. So this is our topic today, attentive listening. And as always, I always recommend you to please take notes. Today is Saturday, April 4th, 2020. The date there is April 2nd, but when I'm recording this session is April 4th. So please make sure that you always take notes. Write the topic and the date when you are listening to this topic, attentive listening. So the goal for this topic on attentive listening is for each one of us to continue allowing ourselves to improve attentive listening. To improve attentive listening. Evidence by showing understanding and acceptance of the other person. In other words, if we really, or if we allow ourselves to really improve attentive listening, that is that we are going to show we are doing it right, we are doing it effectively, evidence by showing that we understand what the other person is trying to communicate to us. Obviously, in this case, to our intimate one, to our partner, to our loved one. And also evidence by showing that we create a safe space of acceptance. So the other person, our partner, feels confident, open, and safe to express his or her thoughts, feelings, and most importantly, needs. Later on, we are going to cover a topic on LACE, which means L for love, C for compassion, E for LACE, L-A-C-E, love, appreciation, compassion, and empathy. One more time, LACE, love, appreciation, compassion, and empathy. That's going to be another topic later on this week. But the main thing for us today is to continue learning how to continue improving attentive listening. That's the main topic, the main goal for this session today. So let's say, attentive listening means, pay more attention than talking. Pay more attention than talking. That is, listen more than talking. So talk when you understand with compassion and empathy. We talk, we say, we communicate to our partners when we are able to listen attentively to our partners. Then we talk. Then we talk with love, with appreciation, and with compassion and empathy. Breathe in and breathe out. So first, let's define what listening is. So the question is, what does it mean to really listen to the other person? Let's see. So here we have an expert, Garland 1981, highlights the capacity to listen as the following. Active listening skills are attending, paraphrasing, and asking for confirmation that one's paraphrase is accurate. So this is just one definition. There may be other definitions. But the main thing is that when we listen, we attend, which means we pay attention. We fully, deeply pay attention to what our partners are saying, are communicating. Once we do that, then we paraphrase. Paraphrase means, let me tell you what I understand, what you are telling me. It's like, oh, what you are meaning is this. And the other person may say, exactly, that's what I mean. Finally, you get it. Something like that, right? And asking, once we pay attention carefully, once we say, okay, this is what I understand what you are telling me, and then the other person is going to say exactly. Or the other person may say, you know what? Forget about it. Oh, that's when we are in trouble, right? We don't want to hear that. So we want we want to make sure that we provide attention, right? And understanding on the other person's needs when he or she is communicating to us. Let's continue. Breathe in and breathe out. So, defining more in detail the skill of listening. Let's see right here. So, listening is the art of truly, attentively paying full attention to what the other person is expressing, along with his or her thoughts, feelings, and nonverbal behaviors. It's very clear, right? So paying full attention to what the other person is expressing, is saying, based on his or her thoughts, feelings, and nonverbal behaviors. Nonverbal behaviors has to do with, you know, the way they express themselves with their body, right? With their gestures, the way they look. It's paying attention to the other person's needs. I mean, this skill requires practice, practice, practice. As you can see right here, we see this beautiful baby tree. This is a pine from Sequoia Park. Pictures that I took. It's a little pine tree aquí, ¿verdad? It's a little one. But sooner or later, this little one is going to be as big or bigger than this one. So that is, it requires for each one of us to continue learning, 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 and most importantly, practice, practice, practice. And practice, obviously, when it comes to coping skills such as listening, requires lots of patience. Oh yeah, lots of patience. Though, it's always good to know that we are to continue learning the attentive listening skill, listening to others, but something very significant here is for each one of us not only learning how to listen to other people, but number one, I want to say this, learning how to listen to yourself. That's when we do the east, the direction of the east. Remember the sacred medicine wheel that has to do with a spiritual balance, a new beginning, spring, fire, the sun. So it's a new beginning that is, the spiritual balance area in the east that require us to create a space for ourselves, for meditation and reflection. That's when we focus on ourselves, try to center, listen to your feelings, listen to your needs, listen to your body, listen to Earth Mother, to nature, to the wind, to the birds. That's something very, very significant. Yes, yeah, I need to learn to listen to other people, but if you don't know or you don't practice listening to yourself through meditation and reflection, then it'll be more difficult, right? Something like that. So, let's continue. Listening is attending and paying full attention to the person who is speaking and maintaining eye contact if culturally permitted. In other words, listening, we already know, means to pay attention. Pay attention to what the other person is saying, to his or her needs. And for us to, make eye contact. Making eye contact when the other person is talking means to some degree that we are listening, that we are paying attention. Though culturally speaking, some people may not feel comfortable maintaining eye contact, which is okay. But it's always, respectful to maintain eye contact. That is, we are paying attention to what the other person is saying. Let's continue. Breathe in and breathe out. Defining more in detail the skill of listening. Listening also refers to paraphrasing. This means that we restate the content and emotional tone of what the other person says. In other words, once we listen fully, attentively to the other person, we paraphrase. Let me give you an example. Let's say Mary says to Johnny, she says, Johnny, I just don't feel comfortable when you raise your tone of voice. I know you are upset, disappointed, but the way you talk to me makes me nervous. That's what Mary says. Then Johnny, supposedly, he's listening. And if he's paying attention and listening to Mary, Johnny is going to then paraphrase when she finishes talking to him. Johnny will say, oh, I'm sorry, Mary. What you are saying is that whenever I get mad or angry and then I kind of start off, raising my voice, or the way I look at you or at something, makes you feel nervous, makes you feel scared, and that you don't feel safe. I'm sorry for being that way sometimes, and I'll try my best just to let you know that I'm going to do a breathing technique or go outside or take a time out, and then I talk to you about how I feel. But yes, I'm sorry, it's my bad. Sometimes I start just talking and raising my tone of voice. I'm sorry. I'll try my best to stay calm. Obviously, this is when it comes to stay violence free, we just don't say trying, but we stay violence free, right? We maintain a healthy relationship by always creating a safe space, a safe environment in our relationship, at home with our children, with our partners. So paraphrasing means letting the other person know what he or she is trying to let us know. So here we want to be very careful not to become defensive, not to do the blaming talk, not to do the ignoring, behavior. I mean, some people may not be ready to just listen and paraphrase, but if that's the case, it's strongly recommended to take a timeout, to let know the other person, Mary or Johnny, Rosie or Peter, such as, Mary, Rosie, I'm just going to take a timeout. I'll be back in 10 minutes. I'll be outside in the backyard, front yard, or just being outside, or go to another room, or take a walk. So way much better to acknowledge and to be humble. Remember, the South in the medicine will teach us to be humble and to make sure that we regulate our emotions. emotional regulation, self-regulation. Just in case, we are not able or ready to listen. Be careful. We don't want to start doing the blaming talk, which is one of the tendencies from the power and control wheel. Remember that power and control wheel that talks about, blaming the other person, minimizing the problem, or denying the problem. No, we want to be careful, right? We want to breathe in and breathe out. Okay, let's continue. Then here we have, if we listen carefully, we then can get a confirmation. We can get then a confirmation from the other person to confirm we are really paying attention. We are really understanding the other person's needs. And that what we paraphrase is accurate. What we paraphrase is clear, is understandable, is safe. So once again, confirmation means, let me tell you what you are trying to tell me. Confirmation, the other person is going to say, exactly, that's what I mean. Thank you for listening. And hopefully, we continue. No, not hopefully. We confirm that we are going to continue doing our best and our part to listen to each other's needs, always creating a safe space. So once again, if we listen carefully, we then can get a confirmation from the other person to confirm we are really paying attention, understanding, and that what we paraphrase is accurate. So I believe this makes sense. Confirmation means if I'm really listening carefully and understanding my partner's needs, he or she is going to let me know. Right? So once again, patience. Patience is required. Practice, practice, practice. So the need to continue improving our listening skills is a continual process of implementing this skill in order to become great in understanding listeners, in order to become greater in understanding listeners. So once again, practice, practice, practice in order to become greater, in order to become skillful and show understanding that we are great listeners. So once again, the need to continue improving our listening skills is a continual process of implementing this skill in order to become greater and understanding listeners. So listening is a special skill. Once again, just listen, focus, concentrate. If you become frustrated, breathe in and breathe out. And let the other person that you probably will need to take a timeout, or that you need to have your own personal space in order to be able to listen. So let's continue. Here we have a wheel of listening. As one is listened to, and as well one listens to others, a healing experience occurs, which fosters personal balance and healing. In other words, if we really listen carefully to the other person, and the other person as well listens to us, that's a tremendous experience of personal balance and personal healing. When the other person listens to us carefully and the other person shows understanding, compassion, empathy, don't we feel great? So the other way around, we want to continue improving our listening skills. Let's see right here. So East is spiritual balance, as we already know, represents love and clear vision, the sacred animal, the ego. Attentive listening is manifested by understanding the other person's feelings, the other person's needs, and the other person's plans toward collaboration and cooperation. That's what attentive listening means in this experience. Next, that's the yellow color of the East. South, emotional balance, humbleness, and openness. There we have the coyote, or the wolf of the sacred animal. Attentive listening goes along with being genuine, that is, being honest, as one shows empathy and compassion to the person who is talking and expressing his or her experience. In the West, physical balance, encouragement and commitment. Attentive listening is demonstrated, is shown by creating a safe space as one listens to the other person. The person who expresses his or her needs feels safe to talk. Then the North, mental balance, respect and wisdom. There we have the sacred animal, the buffalo. Teaches respect and wisdom. Attentive listening is a strength of consideration, which is respecting the other person's needs to heal. Listening with respect shows how much one values the other person. Right now comes to my mind and my heart Dr. Reader. Dr. Reader was my professor in my counseling psychology master degree in California State University, Bakersfield. I spent 4 years doing my master degree in counseling psychology with various professors. But Dr. Reader was a significant, genuine, smart, intelligent, spiritual person. She would tell us, the students, always listen to their stories first. In psychotherapy, when we are doing our practicum in the clinic, we would practice clinically doing psychotherapy. And of course, with their permission and consent, we would record the sessions on a video tape for training purposes. And we would put the tape in supervision, and Dr. Reader would say, okay, let's play your video and see what you see you need to improve or do better. But the very significant factor with Dr. Reader was always listen to people's stories. Listen to them. Do not interrupt, just listen to their stories, Saul. Once you listen to their stories, you know their experience. Then you can establish a clinical conversation, always providing validation of feelings and emotions and paraphrasing and so forth. Well, this was from my clinical experience, but more or less the same thing for your experience in a relationship. Listening to our partners is one of the most significant skills we can always allow ourselves to learn and practice. So you may say, well, he or she is the one also who needs to learn how to listen. Yeah, that may be true. But the most significant thing right now is for each one of us to learn and to practice this skill. Just listen to the other person's words, emotions, feelings, experience, and needs. Let's continue. Oh, by the way, Dr. Reader already passed away. Let's see, I believe it was last year. No, I think it was this year. Last year. Well, I don't remember, but it was either 2019 or 2020. I always remember Dr. Reader. One of the most significant professors in my life. Always listen to their stories. That was her message. And same right here to you. I share with you, listen to your partner's feelings and needs. Questions to answer. Remember at the beginning I asked you to take notes. And if not, you can always go back and listen to the presentation. Questions to answer. How important is it for you to continue learning and implementing attentive listening? How important is it for you to continue learning and to continue practicing attentive listening skills? How attentive listening would continue benefiting, helping your intimate relationship, helping and improving your relationship with your children, and helping and improving your social interactions with others and at your work. And number 3, How do you show you are applying effective attentive listening skills? How do you prove? How do you show? Remember, the other person is going to let you know if you are truly and really listening. And number 4, what is your palabra? Reflection on this topic. What are the main things you learned from this presentation? Obviously, we are not practicing the palabra right now because we are using this method for now due to the significant safety that we are to continue taking to prevent the spread of the virus. But remember, palabra means I'm about to speak from my heart. I'm about to say what's in my heart and how I'm doing, what my needs are. Palabra, word, tlatoli. So, if you go to the description of this topic in YouTube, you are going to see a link to, let's see, it's like a survey, but you will see the same questions that you see right here. That's going to take you to a Microsoft form. You are going to write your name and last name and the date when you are doing the, well, you don't need to put the date because automatically it'll show. But I'll put there to put the date when you answer these questions. And obviously, you know, I'm going to know if you answer the questions. If it's complicated for you, I'm just going to text you the form to answer the questions based on this topic. So let's continue doing great. Let's continue staying focused. Let's continue being loving and caring. Let's continue, as always, staying violence-free. Breathe in. And breathe out. One more time. Breathe in. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your participation. And please, let's continue doing great. Thank you for your time. Okay, so today's date is once again Saturday, April 4th, 2020. April 4th, 2020. We are going to continue doing our sessions through this method, okay, for now. So if you are listening to this conversation or topic when the virus is not as has been maintained in a healthy way, I mean, maybe it's a different date when you are listening to this or different year, but just focus on the present moment that you are listening to this topic. Thank you for your time. Be safe.